guys, it's Abby Andrew and welcome back to the René of Paris YouTube channel. I'm the Alopecia Ambassador for this channel, so normally I come on here and talk about issues relating to hair loss and about wearing wigs as someone with hair loss. But I also am really big into cosplay and costume making, so of course I get really excited for Halloween, which is coming up pretty soon. So in today's video, I'm actually going to be showing you how I would put together a fairy costume if you want to dress up as a fairy for Halloween. Surprisingly, I've actually never been a fairy for Halloween, except maybe when I was maybe like 8 years old or something like that. But I dress as a fairy to Renaissance fairs almost every single year, and every single year I try to change it up just a little bit. So in today's video, I'm going to show you all the different pieces that I work with when I'm making a fairy costume. The most fun part about making a fairy costume is that it's very up to your own interpretation. You can go with whatever color scheme you want, whatever wig hairstyle you want, and it's really exciting. So I'm just going to show you all the different pieces you can choose from and try to give you some inspiration if you want to make your own fairy costume. And then by the end of this video, I'm going to try on a couple different versions of the fairy costume to show you just how different a fairy costume can be depending on what type of fairy you want to dress as, and of course depending on whatever wig style and color you decide to go with. A lot of times I actually tend to base the color scheme of the costume based on the wig that I want to wear with the costume. So I'm also going to show you all the different wigs that I have to choose from for these costumes today. Before I get into the actual costume pieces, I'm just going to quickly touch on different things I do to my makeup to dress it up a little bit more for a kind of mystical fairy costume. So typically when I'm dressing up as a fairy, I tend to do my makeup more or less the same as I normally do it. I just go a little bit heavier on eyeshadow, especially if I'm going with a certain color scheme for the fairy look. I'll do an eyeshadow that kind of matches that color scheme. So today I just put on a little bit more of like a dark reddish purpley color scheme because I do have some pieces that are purple that would match that kind of color scheme that I might go with. And then some parts of my makeup I might exaggerate if I'm dressing up as a fairy is my eyeliner, for example, or my lashes. Sometimes I'll go with really, really dramatic lashes if I'm dressing up as a fairy. These are kind of like somewhere between normal looking lashes and dramatic, but they are a little bit more on the dramatic side already. But I usually do a cat winged eyeliner, so sometimes if I'm dressing up as a fairy for Halloween or for a costume event, I might add like a double cat eye wing. Just as simple as something like that can really add a sort of mystical element to your fairy costume. If I'm dressing up as a fairy, I might also tend to go a little bit heavier on the blush because blush can just make any look just that much cuter. So I might tend to go a little bit heavier on the blush right around this part of my cheek and sometimes even across my nose just to give it that really cute kind of blushing look, as if I'm actually blushing or embarrassed or something. Or even like a little sun-kissed look. And then, of course, highlighter is already a part of my regular daily wear makeup because it's just that adds a really nice touch to your makeup look. But going a little bit heavier on the highlighter too is something I might do if I'm dressing up as a fairy. So you really want to just focus on the high points of your face, so the parts of your cheekbones, and also on the tip of your nose. And I'll probably add these at the end, but something else I like to add to my fairy costumes are rhinestones. So these are actually some basic rhinestones that I got from a craft store. They're actually rhinestone stickers. So I have them in black, orange, and purple. So depending what color scheme I end up going with, I'll add some rhinestones to match the costume. You can also get different sizes if you want to just kind of alternate around like maybe your cheekbones or your eye area. So these are actually rhinestone stickers, but you don't need to get stickers because if you just get regular rhinestones, you can also use eyelash glue to attach them to your face. So one of the best parts about dressing up as a fairy for Halloween is just how creative you can get with it. So you can really take it any route. You can kind of go like the traditional mystical fairy look where you're just wearing long flowy clothing in earthy colors and maybe a natural looking wig, or you can go a totally different route. You can do like a goth fairy and just wear a lot of black and white. You can pick a specific color scheme. A lot of times I love the color purple, so sometimes I'll just do like a full purple costume or like mix purple and green for like a leafy element. So you can really get super creative with it. Sometimes I'll start by picking a color scheme and just take it from there. Sometimes I'll start by picking out which wig color and style I want to wear and then just pick pieces and colors that go well with that wig color. So you can really just take it however you want to go. But two very key components of any fairy costume that I find will just make your costume look fabulous no matter what color scheme or wig you go with Obviously, you're gonna want your wings. Yes, I am the type of person that just happens to have multiple pairs of fairy wings just lying around the house, but you can really go with any type of wing. They'll probably sell them around Halloween time at any Halloween store, or possibly even dollar stores if you want to, if they happen to have like Halloween themed pieces. So I have this pair that I got at a Renaissance fair many years ago, and then this pair is also super old. I think I actually wore this for a fairy costume when I was about 8 or 9 years old, so for some reason I've had them all these years, so you can really go with whatever style you want, or you can also make your own. And then the second component that I feel is pretty key to any fairy costume is some sort of headpiece or a crown. So I have two options here with me now. I have this really pretty flower crown that I'm going to show you a bunch of different wig options with this flower crown later, and just show just how pretty this looks with all sorts of wig colors. Something as simple as that. Or maybe even some sort of tiara or something if you're like some sort of princess fairy or something like that. So if you're gonna go the route of sort of an earthy, mystical, traditional looking fairy, I would recommend any sort of flowy clothing. So I have this really flowy dress that I might put on, and if you just add fairy wings to that, it's already gonna look like a really great fairy costume. Or perhaps a long flowing skirt is a great option. Another great option for a fairy costume is taking different colors of tutus and layering them. So I have this black one and this purple one, and sometimes I'll just layer them with one on top of the other so you can kind of see the other color peeking out, and it just creates a really nice mystical looking effect. And then a lot of times I'll tend to wear like shorts under them or something, or maybe some really cool stockings as well. And then for your top, I love to look for different types of crochet tops. Here's a crochet shirt that I might wear like another tank top underneath, but the crochet look is just very mystical and fairy looking. Or if you have a lacy piece, that would look really elegant as well. Or if I'm going for like a punk fairy look, which I might try on in a bit, I might do like a fishnet top like this one. And then for final touches, depending on what style of fairy you're going for, you can add all sorts of cool accessories. So I love adding like long socks or stockings that match the style of the fairy I'm going with, like these really cool purple and black striped socks, or just any sort of like lacy tights or something like that. If I'm going for more of a punk fairy look, you can do like cool belts that you can layer. Flower hair clips like these are also definitely a great option to add to your wig to kind of spice it up a little bit. And I would also recommend going to your local craft store and picking out things like these fake vines or maybe some fake flowers that you can incorporate into your costume. I don't have any with me right now, but I've also in the past taken some fake flowers and just pinned them onto my tutus, and that just really kind of brings it all together. And of course, for my fellow wig wearers out there, one of the most fun parts about putting together a fairy costume is deciding which wig you want to go with. One of the costumes I'm going to try on, I'm going to go for like a black and white color scheme. So I have this really light blonde wig. This is actually Lennox from the René of Paris collection in pastel pink. Gorgeous wig. I'll try that on once I'm wearing that style fairy costume. This is a great option for if I'm going for more of a purpley color scheme. This is Divine Waves in Lilac Cloud. A gorgeous wig and gorgeous color. That is a new style from the new Muse collection that was released this year. And then this is my Reese PM wig in Champagne R. This is a great option for more of a natural looking fairy, or if I'm going for like more earthy tones. This wig, you'll see in a minute, looks so awesome with that flower crown as well. Okay, so now I'm gonna throw on a couple of these different fairy looks and show you just how creative you can get with a fairy costume and all the different varieties of looks you can go with. So for more of a simple fairy look, I have this long flowy green skirt, which just creates a very mystical looking flowy look. And these cute little fairy wings. And then I just took a basic white shirt, and then I also just pinned some flower clips to it just to make it a step up from just a basic tank top. Wrapped myself in these vines. And this wig is Reese PM in Champagne R. And some things I like to do with this wig, I like to kind of pin back the sides a little bit. It's a really cute short style. It's actually one of my favorite styles. I love the way the hair is kind of like wispy. Especially when you pin it back, those wisps are really exposed, and I think that just creates a really cute sort of fairy pixie type look. And then look how cute this wig looks with this flower crown. And look how much that flower crown just completes the whole look. This is more of a simplistic fairy look that pretty much anyone could create with pieces they probably already own. You might have to pick up some sort of crown and wings at maybe your local Halloween store, but it's pretty easy to put together. So this next fairy look is one that's going to be based around this wig because I love this wig color and style and wanted to kind of go with a color scheme that would go with this wig. This is the wig Lennox from the René of Paris collection, and it's in the color Pastel Pink. So it's this really, really nice light color, almost white, but it has this really gorgeous pink tint to it. So it's a really beautiful color and it's perfect for a fairy costume. So because it is so light, I decided to go with kind of a black and white fairy look with a little tiny hint of purple because I do love the color purple and I thought it just fit really well with the black and white color scheme. So for my makeup, I just added some of the black rhinestones that I have here. And then a great way to style this wig, you could of course wear it down. This is pretty much how it would look down, but I also wanted to add 2 braids. So I put 1 braid here already, and I'll just show you how I did that on the other side. So I just take one of the topmost layers of hair, and because you want it to be a thin braid, you don't want to take too much, so that's probably good. And then you want to split it into 3 parts and then just make a normal braid and clip it behind your head. So now I would recommend taking a really small hair tie to hold this together, but you could also just use a bobby pin. So if you don't really care about it accidentally coming out, since it is just a Halloween costume, I'm just gonna go ahead and pin that to the back of my head so it's symmetrical with the other side. And before I pin it, something else you can do is if you add a braid to one of the lower layers, so the top is kind of hidden beneath the hair, you can also pull that across your forehead and kind of create like a headband look like that. But if you do that, I would recommend making a braid on one of the under layers so that the top is covered, so it just looks like a seamless transition into a little headband across your forehead. So you can either do this look with the braids, you could also just add random braids throughout. I think that always just kind of fits really well for a fairy look. And because this Lennox wig has a really seamless looking lace front, you can't even tell the hairline is there at all, so it just looks really good for a hairstyle that's kind of pulled back a little bit out of your face. So here's this completed fairy look. So I have this fishnet top on for more of like a punky fairy look. And then I have the same 2 tutus, but I have the purple on the bottom and the black on the top this time. So depending on how you put them, you can actually totally change up the look, just switching up the order. And then to go with the black and white color scheme that I was going for the light hair, I just put on these black and white striped socks. I think socks are really great for any fairy look in general, no matter what the color of the sock stripes are on the socks. And then I also had this cute little fairy or angel shirt that I thought also looked really good with the costume for the white color scheme, and also just because it happens to have a sort of fairy on it. And then of course I have my wings here. I chose to go with the slightly darker wings for this one so they didn't blend in too much with the hair. You can also go ahead and add some vines to make it more of a woodland fairy look. And then if you don't happen to have a crown or anything, I think this hairstyle is a really great replacement for a crown. You could just add these nice braids or something like that and just create another sort of nice headpiece. But just to show you what the other crowns look like, I think they both go really well with this look. So we have the really beautiful flower crown. The pastel flower colors look really pretty with the really light hair. I also happen to have this necklace that I think would actually look really good as a sort of across the forehead headband. I could just pin that on with bobby pins, or maybe even up alongside the braids. That would look really pretty. That's a good option. But for this look, I think I'm gonna go with the tiara because my costume does still have some hints of purple in it, so the purple gemstone, again, goes really well with this one. So here is the final purple themed fairy look. We have the 2 tutus layered on top of each other with the black one on the bottom and the purple one on top with just black shorts underneath, and these great black and purple striped socks. And then I also just have this really pretty shimmery fabric on top just to add another element of like something a little bit mystical looking. It's a really pretty fabric that I have. But you can really just use anything that you already have in your house or just random things that you pick up from the Halloween store or the thrift store. But on top I just have the crochet top because I feel like it's also very kind of fairy-esque in my opinion, anything crochet or lacy. And then on top I have the wig Divine Waves in Lilac Cloud, which is this beautiful kind of grayish purple color. So this wig naturally is a wavy wig and it's super beautiful like this, but it is a heat-friendly synthetic wig, so if you wanted to, you could also use your heating tools to change the style. Just always be sure to be aware of the heat limit for your heat-friendly synthetic wigs before you do anything to them. And then on top, I added some things to my makeup. I added this kind of purpley lipstick, which is actually almost the same color as the wig, maybe just a little bit darker. I added some of the rhinestones around my eye area. You could kind of put them wherever you want, like more down your cheekbones, just however you feel looks best. And then on top, I think this crown goes so perfectly with this wig because it does have the little purple gemstone on top, which matches the whole purple color scheme. And then, of course, as a final touch, I would recommend adding some fake ivy from the craft store because it just kind of makes your fairy costume look that much more authentic. It just makes you kind of look a little bit more like a woodland fairy. So you can kind of just wrap it around yourself any which way and then secure it with safety pins. So that's all for this fairy costume tutorial. Definitely let me know in the comments below which of the fairy looks I showed you was your favorite, which of the wigs I showed you was your favorite, and don't forget to thumbs up this video and subscribe to the René of Paris channel for more wig tips and tutorials. Also, you can find me on my YouTube channel, Abby Andrew, and definitely follow the René of Paris Instagram page as well. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful Halloween or whatever costume event that you're watching this video for, and we will see you next time.